Welcome to today's episode of the Daily Coffee Pro, everyone. We will be talking today about life currencies. Life currencies is a concept, philosophy, however you want to call it, that I came up with a couple of years ago and have been talking about it and teaching it through Map It Forward since pretty much a year ago. So what is a life currency? A life currency is anything that is of deep meaning to you, that enhances your life and creates wealth in your life. Deep-seated wealth, like the kind of wealth that you want to get up for in the morning and want to build mountains of it in. A life currency also has to be something that you can grow or something that can be taken away from you. Now, I have defined 7 life currencies for myself and for my business. And it took me some time to build those life currencies, but I wanted to give you kind of an insight into where life currencies came from so that you can have the genesis story and then understand why it was such a big deal to and what contribution it made to my life. It happened when my first year of living here in the States, which has just clicked on 3 years, my accountant said to me at the end of that first year, "How much money do you want to make next year in Elixir?" And I'd never been asked that question before. And I thought it was kind of a strange question, only because it didn't really register for me. It wasn't like I wanted the business to make money, of course, but it wasn't the reason I was doing the business. I wanted to make enough money for myself in order to just pay my bills, but I'm a minimalist, so making money is never going to be the main objective of anything, and certainly driving a business forward. And bear in mind, this is the first business I've had that's a physical product. So everything was a very steep learning curve for me. But I'd never been presented that question before. And I had no answer for it. I just didn't know how you approach something like that. Do I just pick a number from the heavens and just say, okay, it's going to be this much money? So because it didn't register, I realized it was the wrong question. And my greatest inspiration in everything is questions. They're the thing that guide everything, which is another part of the Map It Forward kind of philosophy, which is compass questions. And we'll talk about them another time. But when I realized this was the wrong question, I had to go find the right question, which ended up being, what is going to make you feel wealthy this time next year? And the reason I paused before I said that was I was recalling that time in my life when, to give you context, Trump had just been voted as the president. There were loads of mass shootings that were going on. I was coming to the realization that everyone here carries a gun. Racism was on the up. There was a whole bunch of things going on personally that were very traumatic for me. And I was just really worn down. And I asked myself this question: what do you need to feel wealthy this time next year? And the answer came immediately. The answer was peace of mind. And I realized, and I kind of just sat in that for a moment and thought, what would it feel like if I had peace of mind? And I felt I would be the richest woman in the world. And I immediately felt better, first of all, and realized that that kind of wealth is a real currency for me. Over the span of the next few months, I went and defined for myself what were the other things that I wanted to cultivate wealth in that would bring me real success and a real sense of feeling rich. And so I went on to define over the next 12 months what these 7 hard and fast life currencies are And I called them life currencies because they're things that only life can give me, and my experiences in life can give me. What were the 7 life currencies that I want to build wealth in order to feel like I'm living a life worth living? And so those life currencies ended up being, in order of most important to the 7th most important: peace of mind, flow, growth, purpose, freedom, connectedness, and clarity. And of course, me being me, defining them wasn't enough. What I needed to do was define them and then understand how I was going to measure them. And so I wanted to set out to assign KPIs, or key performance indicators, if I was going to apply these life currencies to my business. Because just saying, okay, so we want to have peace of mind for Elixir Specialty Coffee, it's like, woohoo, but that sounds really woo-woo to do something like that. There's no point in trying to build wealth in something if you're not going to be able to measure it. That's my business analyst background coming in there. And so what I decided to do, and if you are coming to the workshop on Sunday, if you're attending the Cafe Owners Workshop, we go into this at length with tables and things. And this is actually in super detail in the book that I'm currently working on, the Coffee Roasters Career and Business Map. But I break down a little bit into a table. It lists the first 3 life currencies: peace of mind, flow, and growth. And then the next column says what the resources are that are required to grow that currency, and what are the things or the hindrances that will drain that life currency. And then the associated key performance indicator that we use to measure how much wealth we have and how we're tracking to either grow that wealth or reduce our wealth in that life currency. So I'll give you an example for peace of mind. And before we dive into this, let's talk about the idea of like what separates out a life currency from a resource. And so some people might say, I'm going to feel really, really rich if I have lots and lots of money. I'm going to invite you to consider that money is a resource, not a currency, because the things that are actually going to bring you long-term joy, and anyone who's become a minimalist will tell you this, the joy is not found in the money. The money facilitates all the things that you actually really want. And there's many, many studies in the psychology of happiness that have shown that money can only bring you happiness and fulfillment up to the point in which it pays for or facilitates your basic needs. So once you've paid your rent and your food and your electricity bills and your mortgage and all of that, money does bring you satisfaction and fulfillment in those situations. And after that point, it brings you negligible happiness. But see, money isn't actually bringing you wealth in those situations. It's bringing you life currencies. It's bringing you things like freedom. It's bringing you stability. It's bringing you safety. These are all life currencies. And we'll get to it in a second and how this relates to the coffee industry and your career and your business and all that kind of cool stuff. But understanding and identifying what the resources are that are available to you to build wealth in your life currencies are going to be life-changing and are going to help you have more control of your life. Equally as important is understanding the things that will drain your wealth in these life currencies. So they're the other resources that you have, which I call the hindrances, that get in the way of you growing in your life currencies. So now let's go into peace of mind. And I'm reading here directly from one of the slides that is going to be at this weekend's Cafe Owners Workshop. So the life currency is peace of mind, and the resources, and this is just a short example of it. It's just a snippet. It's not the full list. This is 6 of the resources that are available to us to increase our peace of mind for Elixir Specialty Coffee. So having customers that have integrity is very important to us in order to grow our peace of mind. Having a dependable team is an important element of growing our wealth and peace of mind. Equally as important is having a dependable supply chain and having insurance and having good cash flow and having pest control. These are 6 things that as a business owner bring me peace of mind and bring the business peace of mind as well as our customers. So by the business, I mean my team. Having all of these things gives us all a sense of peace of mind so that we can focus on doing great business. Now, the things that can get in the way or the hindrances, as I said, having toxic staff, customers, or suppliers is definitely a hindrance to peace of mind. Having unmanageable debt is a hindrance. Having drama in the workplace, having a chaotic work environment, a lack of trust in the workplace, and undefined boundaries. These are all things that get in the way or drain our wealth in peace of mind. And anyone who has had a team where there's just one drama queen out of 20 knows that that person is like the cancer in the success of a team. And it really does debilitate the peace of mind that should be operating within a team. Now, the third column is our key performance indicators, our KPIs, and they're important because they tell us what the success of it all is. And so what are the key performance indicators we have to tell us if we're doing well? Well, we have reports that show that our bills are getting paid on time every month. Our cash flow statement tells us that we are in a good, positive cash flow position. We have a staff satisfaction report that happens. So I engage with every staff member all the time, asking them and finding out, are they satisfied? Are they happy? And have set boundaries so that they know that if they communicate assertively with me and they tell me if they're happy or unhappy, we work to have a positive outcome so that they can grow from that. Our customer satisfaction reports. We have project and production delivery schedules and make sure that they're met on time. And product testing, it's passing all the benchmarks, making sure that everything is within the means for food safety and product and QCing our product quality standards are met. So all of those key performance indicators tell us whether we are heading towards peace of mind or being drained from our peace of mind. Now, very quickly, how does this apply to you if you're not a business owner and you are in your career? So let's say you have listed the same kinds of life currencies as what I've listed. Even though I'm the owner of Elixir Specialty Coffee, I'm an employee of the company. And these life currencies are my personal life currencies as well. So I need to be working in a company where my personal life is brought peace of mind as well. If I'm working somewhere that's toxic, if I'm working somewhere where I'm not happy, I'm not paid well enough, I'm struggling, I'm not feeling fed as a person and I'm not growing as a person, that is directly affecting my wealth in my life currency. If I'm feeling that, let's say for growth, if I'm feeling that I'm not growing in my network, I'm not growing in my the relationships that I'm building with my coworkers, I'm not growing in the things that I'm learning about and expanding my experiences, well, none of that's feeding my life currencies. And so you should be looking to work in places that are building wealth in your life currencies, and you have ways to measure that, whether it's in a business setting or whether it's as an employee of a current business. Okay, guys, that's it for today's episode of the Daily Coffee Pro. I hope you enjoyed the idea of life currencies. It's really helping my clients that are starting to implement it and my employees. Go ahead and define your life currencies. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below, or hit us up on our socials and we can talk some more about it. Rate this podcast if you're listening to it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We're just over 300. We would love your help doing that. And if you are thinking about coming to the Cafe Owners workshop that's happening this Sunday, please head to mapitforward.org/events and register there. We hope to see you there and take a deep dive into life currencies. Peace, love, and peanut butter, y'all, and have an amazing rest of your day.